I don't see you, man.
I'm waiting. Did you eat reason though?
Yeah. You're a co-host. I'm hanging up.
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, hold on. Where you at? Come on. There we go. You there?
Okay, here we go. Welcome to Young Guns 2020, the year of the COVID. Expect the unexpected. Robert, I think you're going to be monitoring the chat room. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, you got chats, you questions, you've got everything you need. Just go ahead and send it. Robert will butt in if he needs to clarify something at this time. Phil's also on. Phil's going to also talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to do structurally. That's a little different than what you've seen in the past, guys. So we're going to ask for some participation going forward. Until we can meet in person, we're just going to really have to buckle down. We're going to have to stay in it. You're going to have to ask questions. We're going to create a little platform that we can ask questions and do some sharing, some Google Drive sharing, okay? That we'll have access to. Phil, you want to go to the next one?
Okay. Well, as Eric mentioned, we're going to be doing some changes for Young Guns. One of the things Eric and I talked about in the past, and actually all the Young Guns, we have Brett, Robert, Thaddeus, Isgar, some of the new guys that came on board you'll meet soon. We wanted to branch out past that second year kind of myopic vision of what Young Guns are, because most of the guys in there aren't second year. And I'm a part of it because of Eric and because I get more out of it than probably most of the guys that are in there. So we wanted to rework that vision and that mission, start with a mission statement. And we sent out a poll earlier to some of the Young Guns and gunslingers to get some ideas of what they're looking at. And we kind of came around with, you know, we've all been playing with the gunslinger, young gun mindset and kind of with that Old West. And we came up with Wyatt Earp. Those who know the story or seen the movies, he's one of the storied and hallowed legends of the Wild West. He was a family man, first of all. He had his brothers and cousins that worked with him a lot. He relied on them for a lot of things as well. The other part was he's a man of the law, so he focused a lot on that written rule that was outlined at that time. So he had that. We have that in common with him as well. And he lived by a code. And we can all agree we've been in the trenches. No matter what position you work, you've had some encounters, and we live by that code and figuratively speaking, die by that code. So we want to make sure we kind of embrace those characters in the mission we're setting forward, and also want to make sure that you all know, and those of you that have been a part of Young Guns understand that this is a family, and we share stories. We stay after. We'll grab a beer afterwards. We'll go do varsity games together. Get to know each other outside of that football field. You know, we stressed that last year a little bit, on and off the field, because it's a full circle when you're working this profession. So some of the quotes you can tell from Wyatt Earp here is, you know, are you going to do something, or are you just going to stand there and bleed? So are you going to actually put the effort into it? Are you going to actually participate, get better, go to breakouts, participate, volunteer, do things, or are you just going to sit there and you know, collect a check? So that's something to look at as well. Destiny is that which we are drawn towards, and fate is which we run into. Again, we're not doing it for the glory. So, And lastly, this is the one that Eric and I kind of gravitated towards. Fast is fine, but accuracy is everything. So I know we stress be quick, be nimble, but we also say slow down. So we tossed this around and we came up with this mission for Young Guns: is fast is okay, but accuracy is all that matters. And it kind of worked out that we had the acronym come out, FAM. So get to know your fam, get to know your family, both gunslingers and young guns, and those that aren't a part of it. And also focus on being consistent and accurate in everything you do. Okay?
The key to that, 1 second, Phil. The key to that is we want you to be quick. We want you to be fast. But we want you to slow down. We want you to be accurate, because that's the only thing that these kids and coaches are asking for. They're asking for that matters. So the key takeaway from this acronym throughout the fall is going to be FAM, because that's what we are.
Fast accuracy.
Okay, guys?
Got it.
All right, good. Let's go. Okay, so some of the folks have been with us before. You guys know who some of our guys are, and the fact that we were able to have some repeat is going to keep bringing continuity into this, and we feel continuity is important as we continue to structure and we strive to have the same communication. We're looking for a plug and play type. We're looking for a plug and play type mentality. We're looking for communication. We're going to have the same thought processes. So as we continue through this process that you see here today and ongoing on July 14th, put that in your calendar. You'll see another invite. It's a Tuesday, July 14th. You'll start to see that we're going to create some things. But in the meantime, the consistency is important. We're able to have Ron. If he's on, unmute himself, say hello. Ken, if you're on. Ken Brown, he's a new gunslinger.
I'm here. This is my 4th year of officiating, and I have spent my first year doing all the positions, and then my 2nd year as an umpire, and then through force of nature, ended up as a referee the last couple of years and have enjoyed the process. So thank you.
Hey, Phil, can you go back one screen? There we go. Okay, Phil Anaya, part of the umpire group. Bayou crew, he's been a part of it for a while. Joe Covarrubias, you guys know him. Stalwart, opinionated, straight to the point. He's facts. He's driving back from Iowa right now, so he probably won't be able to say much. He's part of a solid crew, Tom's crew. Robert Bailly, he's on. He's switched over to evaluator this year. He's no longer a part of a crew, so he's going to be evaluator. We're going to get to hear his thoughts here in a little bit as to what he should expect and what we're going to expect from the evaluators. David, don't be upset with me, but I'm going to do the best I can. Corralio, he's new as a gunslinger. He's on the Juarez crew. He's another one of your peers. So go ahead, David.
I'm David Guariello. It's like guacamole with an R,
Yeah.
Guariello.
Mario.
And I'm a H for the Juarez crew. This is my 5th year of officiating, and hope to improve over the next year and help others as well.
Thank you, David. Brett Holman, back judge, Bayou crew. I don't know, Brett, if you're on. If you are, say hello. Okay, David Inosa, a new gunslinger with the Sartwell crew, working deep wing. Go ahead, David.
Hello, everybody. I'm David Hinojosa. This is my 6th year officiating. I know it doesn't look like it, but I really came to Gunslingers to try to help everybody, to try to show y'all what helped me to step up my game to the next level. So I'm an open book. If you ever need some help on how to move up, how to become more known in the chapter, hit me up. Here to help. Thanks.
Okay, returning again, Thaddeus Chase, deep wing with the Isker crew. Thaddeus, you there?
Yeah, this Thaddeus Chase. This is my 15th year in the chapter. My first 12 years, 13 years was a wing. I did do a couple R's in some 6A games also, and this is my second year as a deep wing. And I'm available to answer any questions or go over any rules with you.
And I'm Eric. I'm a line of scrimmage guy. Was a back judge, moved over to the line several years ago and joined the line of scrimmage. And shoot, this is the fourth year, kind of corralling this group, so maybe fifth year. But anyways, I look forward to this. And guys, we're going to change this up a little more. There's going to be more input. There's going to be, you'll see as we continue to evaluate that this is going to be important going forward. So Phil, if you want to talk about the poll a little bit before Phil gets to that, guys, we put out a poll. This poll and this link is important. If you didn't complete the poll, we don't necessarily know what's important to you. This is about you. So the poll and the link, answering the questions. The second year, guys, you may not know the answers of what you're looking for just yet. We're going to create something separate for you to also answer to see where you stand in all of this. But right now, we've got a lot of returning young guns. So we're going to, this was targeted to you at this moment, okay? So go back and look at the email that Maxwell sent out. There's a poll link. Please complete it. Okay, Phil.
Thank you. And to echo what Eric is saying, we created this poll to help build a curriculum for young guns. Because what's important to me is different than what's important to Eric, and it goes all the way down. For what's important to Robert and Thad may not be important to y'all. So we need to know where you stand and what you want to look for. So it's important for y'all to get that poll completed. If you have some crewmates, they send it to them. Hey, get this information to us. It'd be great. We have a limited amount of responses now, but again, it's going to help us build our area of focus to help build out the year, because it's one thing we want to actually have is a solid plan and curriculum to build out the rest of this year for you all. Okay, so we'll go over a few of the results now that we have. Overall program for young guns the past year, you can see it's pretty well received. Did it help? On-field scrimmages help. I love the on-field scrimmages that we have for the young guns. I think it reflected here in the results. Classroom, kind of scattered throughout. It's one thing Eric and I talked about, and the young guns that we actually talk through on the off season when we see each other, talk about is building out something that's more beneficial to y'all. Film review, it's one thing we really enjoy doing in young guns, was fairly well received. The availability of the gunslingers, I think it's something that's kind of systemic across our chapter, is that engagement piece. We could be better at it, and we want your input on how we could as well. So make sure you answer that question so we know where we can improve. The on and off the field question is kind of scattered throughout. We want to make sure we're doing well-rounded development, both on field with mechanics and off field in preparation. So make sure you get us the input so we can help frame those lessons for y'all. And lastly, would you recommend the Young Guns program to a fellow official? And overwhelmingly yes, except for a couple offshoots. Okay. Moving forward, this is what we're looking for moving forward. We did have a few comments we'll cover later on in this presentation about what's in the works. But for the most part, how we're going to frame the kind of the lesson or lecture portion of the Young Guns is going to revolve around these 8 topics and how much effort we put into it. Overwhelmingly, mechanics is number 1, followed by pre-snap and rule knowledge. It's important. We got to know the rules. We got to know where to be. And the pre-snap is something we kind of worked with last year a little bit more, and it's beneficial. So we want to continue that as well. The communication with coaches and crew is kind of scattered throughout for that 5 and 6 position, as well as huddle training was kind of spread out throughout all the varieties. arbiter training was last, but I think there's still some issues on how to actually utilize arbiter to its truest benefit, and I think there's some areas we can expand on as well. Lastly, we did add a little question here about the COVID pandemic everyone's dealing with, and how concerned, and it's across the board. Very concerned, not at all concerned. It's a split of 2 to 4, and there's some not so concerned. But again, it's something we have to deal with. It's something we have to look forward to preparing for, and we got to do that as a unit, and hopefully we can find a solution that works best with the guidelines given from the state. Eric.
Yeah, so periodically, and for this is really geared towards the second year, third year guys. Periodically we get say, hey, what do you mean by this? What is this word? What is this phrase? And we are in the process of answering these questions, putting definitions to these words or phrases that you're seeing here on the box. But we've also opened it up. If you can move over to the bit.ly YG vocab, this is a link for you to add a phrase or a word. Hey, I'm looking for an answer. Can you help me with this particular comment that's in the book? This allows us to start formulating, evolving this list to where we can answer the topic of the week. You're going to have new phrases. You're going to hear strange things. What was it? Put it into this link so we can help answer those questions. Okay? You got another comment, Phil?
Yeah, echo this. It's anonymous. Just put it in. We'll have a gunslinger answer it, and it'll be open to everybody. So don't feel bad or you feel it's a dumb question or a dumb phrase. It doesn't matter. There's stuff in here I don't hear often if I'm not, on the wing or in the deeps. Same for vice versa. They don't hear that stuff in the middle. So put it in there. If you hear us say it, it's just a word or a phrase, and we're going to answer it. And we're going to have this list open, alpha order, so it's always there as a reference to all. So do not be afraid to put in a word. If it's off the wall, I'll let Eric answer it, but we'll have it in there for y'all.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate that. All right, this is the plan going forward, guys. We're not going to try to get bogged down. Sometimes we get in the weeds a little bit, so we're working on our pace. I think some of the structure that we're going to implement this fall will allow us to stay a little more on task with the pace of the meeting. A little education on the front end, get to the video on the back end, because I know you guys really appreciate the video. So we'll kind of save that for some of the walk-ups that are there, but we're going to create a little more structure in that process. And in that structure, Ken, if you want to go ahead and jump on, I know you have some thoughts and feelings on how film review is going to work, and maybe jump in just a little bit on the checklist. That'd be fine. If not, I can go ahead and continue. You there? No? Okay.
I'll add for him. I know.
Yeah,
Ken didn't.
I'm here.
Go ahead. Awesome.
That's okay. Eric, if you would just repeat the question.
Yeah. So you have some good feedback on how we can create a film review process, how we look at film, and also with the dead ball and pre-snap reads. As we look at film, what are we doing in these points in this juncture of the game? Just wanted you to kind of give your thoughts and opinion on that real quick, just so everybody can get an idea of who you are and what you're doing.
Well, I think for the most part with film review, I mean, I kind of go at it from the perspective of trying to become a better official at it. So I'm not looking at it as a perspective of, it tearing me down or anything like that, but just trying to get better as an official. And I think one of the things that's really important is to help develop a consistency when you're out on the field. And if you are able to develop a consistency, that will help you be a better official as well. So those kinds of things, come with time and what have you, but just a development of consistency over time, and that helps you become better.
So we're going to implement a mini checklist, going back to those terminology, the vocabulary. Those words kind of cross over. Some are more pertinent to certain positions. So there may be 5 things in a pre-snap or a dead ball situation that each official is doing. So we're going to try to standardize that so you guys can get up to speed. So if you have an opportunity to get onto or work a Thursday or a Saturday game, if you're working a Friday, then you're going to be able to have that process down, so that way you can just focus on the next 3 to 4 things before the snap, and everybody's talking the same language. So that's our goal, is talking the same language, guys, okay? It's going to be important going back to the poll data. I can't stress this enough. We put it out. We hope that you guys are going to be able to answer this, so we have a little more reflection on data points, so that we can start to target what you're looking for, okay? And then, Phil, you have you have comments on the play script.
Yeah, so
Hey,
this
hold
all
on,
goes-
Phil, real quick. Sorry about that. Brett Pruitt had asked a question about huddle and film review, and he had last year was his first year, and he had asked about getting some additional training on huddle. David Maxwell, I think David may be on the call to talk more about this, but I do know that David has been putting together a program for additional huddle training and working with people that want that additional training and how to use it and what's the best way to use it. So that's coming. It's a good question, but I don't know if David has anything to say about that, but I do know that that's in the works and he's putting something together for that.
There's additional huddle training via Zoom later this month from Maxwell.
Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. So back to script here. What's in the works? This is all stuff that has come from our conversations with Young Guns in the past year or two. Just want to make sure we address that, because this is all feedback, direct feedback, indirect feedback from people in the program, both gunslingers and Young Guns. And we want to let y'all know we are implementing this into the program. So the film process review is going to be systematic approach to building a consistent way we deliver our critiques and review on the films on how we approach each play, from what Kim was saying, a pre-snap to movement to reads to communication, and run it through a consistent format every time. So it kind of echoes that memory. So we want to make sure we address that. And lastly, the Young Gun Master Play Script was something I brainstormed with Eric to help make something that's usable for the people in the program. We have a ton of film. You already see people, I think Joe and Ryan have already put some film into our drive for Young Guns. We're going to dive into that shortly. But then we forget, and we don't know where those plays are and how to access them or what they involve. So we're hoping to create a script that'll actually go through and have a lot of information was just copied from another script, but we're going to pull off what we need. But we can sort and find certain fouls, certain officials, positions that we need. So if we need to look for umpire plays, we find umpire. We need a back judge or a deep wing, we can look for those plays, and we can pull those up and sort them so we can pull off a play number and find those plays specifically. Because stuff comes up week 1, it may not come up again until week 4 or 5, and we've already loaded up nearly 60, 70 plays between there. So having this script will help us go back, readdress issues, and also give a resource to the people in the program that can help build their stuff off the field as well. So we're going to jump into a couple of plays here. We're going to do 2 plays. I want to stop sharing my screen and give it over to Eric
Oh, one
So he
second.
can load up.
Yeah, 1 second.
He's going to load up 2 plays involving measurements. Just so it shows you it happens at all levels, and we just need to slow down and be aware. So Eric, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, 1 second. Of course, my view changed. There we go. Okay.
I'm gonna stop sharing. You can take it over.
Yeah, 1 second. Wait. Yeah, you seeing the huddle right now, Bill?
Yes. Yes.
You are seeing the huddle. Okay.
Yeah, just blow up your screen. Full screen.
All right, guys. Let's see here. 1 second, bear with me here. All right. So we're going to move to play 2, and we're going to let this play out. I don't know if if you've been in the Young Guns folder, then you've probably seen this play already. A little bit of confusion. What are we doing? Is there any crossfield looking, crossfield mechanics? Anyone stepping up? Whoa, wait a minute. Time out. So guys, this is a 5-man crew, and this is relevant to you. And looking, the line of scrimmage guys obviously going across the field. Back judge. Is that, you want to be behind the ball. Away from the stick so everyone can see it, not next to it. I'll pause.
So for those of y'all, it's the play's choppy going through Zoom, obviously. It is under Young Guns, under the 2021 season, and it's game footage and Ryan's measurement plays. It is play 2, and we're going to go over play 4 after this.
Also, it is choppy on your end?
Yeah, or it was on mine.
Okay. So there wasn't a lot of communication amongst the officials. I think that, for the most part, we do a pretty good job of realizing, oh, wait, we got a first down, let's shut it down. I don't think this really happens very often, but you have to be aware because there's confusion, and now we're kind of looking at, we've lost our credibility. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, geez. So go ahead.
This is a first down play. It's 1st and 10 from the A18. So do we need a measurement on this particular moment? I would say no. But if you want it, again, you're in your right. You have to communicate. You had headlines up there, given dead ball, obviously had it short. You had to spot it. If you're going to make them short, especially at that level. Once that ball was down from the umpire, if the umpire's hearing a whistle that late, like, we're moving. If the L's not even getting past the number, it's like, ball's down, now we're going. And
No.
again, this is a responsibility on both sides. So everyone's got to take their part, because what's the bad part is this looks bad on the whole crew. It's not just an H or an L or an R or a B out of position. The whole crew gets a downgrade for this. So everyone looks bad. So go ahead, Robert.
Here's another part of this. We talked about it a lot last year. Pre-snap routine. Know your down and distance. Know your line to gain. if you have a spot and you know it's short, you're still crashing in to spot the ball and you're saying we're short or we're close, come take a look at it. You have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can't round it. You gotta go straight, you gotta L it off, and you gotta crash.
Yeah, remember, treat the line to gain like the goal line.
Oh, okay.
So it goes back to communication, goes back to knowing as a line of scrimmage guy, know your lines in the order of importance. So everything kind of falls apart here. Again, it's first down, 1st and 10. You probably didn't know where the line is. Might have, or he's like, it is short, and he was going over, and the umpire said, "We're spotting it, hands in, mark it." Don't know. But again, when you look at film, you don't have that luxury to know what you're thinking as well. So be sure you're aware, because the ball's down. I'm at 29 seconds, and just then the ball's down for at least a second. The L's coming into frame past the numbers, stating we're close. You got to take a look at this.
Yeah, Eric, can you rewind it to where the H grabs the chain? Because Joe Sesmorowski is asking if there's any issue with where the H is grabbing the chain. I just want to see.
Yeah, he's going the nearest line instead of the line closest to the back stick, not the 18. He goes to the 25 instead of going to the 20.
Yeah.
See, he goes right there to the 25. Thanks, Joe. There's no clip. You see, there's stuff.
Yeah, I don't see a clip there.
But guys, if you don't already, get the CCA manual. It's green. Page 184 in the 2019 book gives you what to do for measurements. Okay? 5-man, we may have to go outside of that to help you with that, but from a 7-man perspective, you're gonna have to brush up on this. I mean, this is COVID. This is Murphy right here, because we're not thinking about it. So this is when you have to start really doing something. This is 7-man. What do I call this one, Phil? I called this chaos.
Yes.
This is chaos. Thanks, Ryan Murphy. Appreciate the little video here.
So know the game scenario. It's 4th down, 4th and 4, 4th quarter, 8 minutes on the clock.
On the sideline. Referee's flexing his muscles. Calls it a first down. He stuck with it.
That's classic.
He stuck with it. What can we do differently here? What can we do as a crew to kind of separate all of what this is you know, this is a bowl game. This is New Year's Day. 1-point game, 8 minutes in the 4th quarter. Emotions are starting to tick up a little bit. We need to remain calm, back everybody up, allow us to operate. Head linesman.
We should have someone assigned to back them up, or
Well, you got your deep wing.
If you don't have a job, that's your job.
Yeah.
To back them up. It should be on everybody, really, unless you're pulling a sticker, holding the ball, or making the announcement. So you can see everyone crashing in. S has the ball and he's looking instead of backing people up. You should get the teams back in their area, especially that close to the sideline. Push the coaches off the white. Push the players back behind their line. Obviously this level you have the lines clearly marked, so push them back where they belong. And Team A, Michigan, they should be at the numbers at least, if not to the hash, to get them out of the way. So you want to make sure you're able to do your job, because once that signal's made that close to the sideline, you can see how chaotic it gets. And it's dangerous for everybody.
I will say, you see L come all the way across the field. He's pushing players back. Just don't stand on the opposite sideline. If we got something like this going on, get involved. I mean, it may not necessarily be a first down, but it could be a fight on the other sideline. You guys got to get over there. I mean, he didn't necessarily know what was going on. He thought it probably was close, but he got over there in time to start backing people up. So just don't hang out on your opposite sideline and let the other guys just fend for themselves. You see now the other officials are starting to, at least on the back end, clear people out. But the S, he's got the football, but he should also be working over here trying to get these coaches back and these players back, like Phil mentioned.
If you have a chance to watch the film, you can see the S, the U, and the B crash at the same time into the pile to help separate and pull players back. So that's a good job by that crew. And then right after that, here comes the L. You have to make it safe for the crew to do their job if you're going to do the measurement. So good job. Well,
I will say this, though. It's a tight play. The head linesman, he's probably maybe in the middle of the white. He's got the chains he's having to work through. This is a dangerous situation to be in, guys. You got to be there. If we know the line to gain is going to be the 41, Markham hit on this on his last training, that the cross-field official can also help with the spot. Yes, I know he's right here on top of it, but this is a dangerous situation to be in. Be patient. You got guys coming over the top. I mean, he's lucky he got out of it. We got a ball maybe on the ground. Who knows what we got going on right there. This is really a crew communication situation, cross-field mechanics, separation. So any other feedback, any other comments on this? Ken, Ron, if you're on, you're in agreement with the first down, you're going to stick with it? Hold your chops.
Absolutely.
We got some time here, so we can start to kind of roll through maybe another film. Or do we have any other questions, Robert? Is anything else going on?
No, but Eric, I just kind of want to reiterate too about, you talked about this is the time when you slow down. This is the time when you take the time to get it right, no matter what the play is, because it is a close play. So that's when you have to tell yourself and your crew to slow down and make sure you do it right.
Take the whistle out of your mouth. That L was operating with the whistle in his mouth still at that point in time. So drop the whistle. No other questions at this time? Okay. All
No,
right.
we're good.
All right. Another thing that we need to really focus on as young officials and making sure we have time is going to be some substitution plays. And Ken, Ron, Phil, I know Joe's driving. So I'd really like to kind of talk about the communication that you've got going on here. And we've got guys switching sides, kind of walk through this process a little bit so that way some of our younger guys, when they get put in this situation, they're able to flow up, pause, hold, etc. So I'll let this play out and then we can do a little feedback. This is A-man, obviously. So the umpire did what he needed to do in that regard. Go ahead.
You can see a delay with the iron cross coming up from the sideline, from the deep wing and the sideline official. And there's a huge, like 3 or 4 second delay from the umpire and or the C. But for our case, the umpire even recognizing when the ARB comes up with the iron cross. And it's imperative, you can't let that time go because it's at the referee's discretion when he's going to drop that. And if we haven't stopped him, we're going to have to stop him. So you have to be, especially when the snap is imminent like that, centers over the ball, they're moving around. You don't know what's going on from an umpire's perspective with their emotion or what's going on. So as soon as you see, you should keep an eye out from the side of your eye and peripheral vision. If that referee comes up, you got to bust your butt in there and stop. Do what you have to do to stop the snap. If it's verbal, get a visible presence with your body, with a movement, with your actual proper signal to hold a snap, but be vocal as well, because more than likely that center is going to have his head down, looking for signal from the quarterback. So make sure you can see it and make sure they can hear you.
The deep wing at the top of the screen, he recognized it really quick. So that's what we want because he's looking right down. Okay, he's seeing this. If you've got a 0-2-0, you've got communication. You know, subs. So you know, for whatever reason, the line of scrimmage guy doesn't see the guys crossing the side. He can get his arms up. The referee can act quickly, and the umpire can start to react.
Yeah, with that many guys coming in and moving around, the umpire should automatically start looking at the referee at that point because the referee's giving his signal moving up and the umpire's reacting way too slow. Finally, he gets up there before the ball gets snapped. But when you see that many guys moving in and out, I mean, you should automatically be looking up at the referee and at what signal he's giving.
Got a little fourth down action. So this is pre-snap. We got the line of scrimmage guy down here without his face to the field. I don't know who he's talking to. Maybe talking. Oh no, he's pointing. Doesn't know what's going on back here. Keep your eyes forward. This is mainly looking at the umpire. He didn't stand over the center while the guys were changing out. He just felt like he was in a rush.
And with this, Eric, run it back.
Which angle?
High, press box. When you recognize this, again, I'm not a fan of it, but you do it because we work Tasso. You can get in the backfield calmly. Keep an eye with that referee, and you can walk back between the snapper and the punter. That's going to prevent the snap because if it hits you, we're just going to kill it anyway. So you can walk, that's just where Eric's showing. You can walk right back there and you can tell and change your communication from the snapper to the punter. Say, don't snap until I let you go. Talk to them. Hey, we're holding them. We're holding them. Get that communication with them, whatever it is, to do your job. And then when it's time, you have a short, 5-7 yard little hop to get in position versus waiting over that snapper. So find ways to make your job easier and be more efficient. But you have to remember your responsibility. Your job is to hold them up until they finish their substitution, until the referee tells you to drop it.
No, this is a pet peeve of mine, because we're responsible for the goal line, right? In the event of a busted play, we got reverse mechanics. This is a pet peeve. These sidelines need to be clear. No, it's all right. We'll go back to that previous play first. Wanted to highlight that the recognition of the sub, and they communicated to wait till everybody matched up, and then they just backed out. It was simple. You can do the same umpire on the other side, right? It's just, it's eye movement. It becomes familiar. So I want to focus on that. As the umpire is coming up and dropping back, he's just becomes more comfortable with his referee. It's a little choppy. Ron, Ken, I don't know if this was a hurry up based on this video. We saw the guy run off the field. Looks like coach is maybe trying to call a timeout. They're looking down the field, trying to call a timeout. As deep wings, Thaddeus, line of scrimmage guys, you're seeing a timeout. How are you handling that? What are you doing when those coaches are screaming for a timeout and we got a player running off the field?
Well, the wing guy's already signaled timeout. So once he does that, it's over with. He's basically killed the clock at that point.
It's kind of simultaneous. So you're going to defer, you're likely to defer to the timeout?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Ron.
Yes, sir.
So Eric, we're at 10 till the hour if you want to go over questions or you want to go over another play.
No, we'll go over the questions. This is good. Okay, stop sharing. Back to you, Phil.
1 second.
So with the unique perspective that Robert Bailly has now, going from on-field to now an evaluator for the season, and we have to get some thoughts and feedback on what he's going to expect when he starts to work evaluating our games on site or through Huddle. Hopefully he'll get access to the foul report. So I think it'll be neat for us to have some real close relationships with an evaluator and have their feedback going forward. So, take advantage of this season. We may not get a chance to see a lot of evaluators throughout the year. So we do have one that you can bounce ideas off of, or hey, why do you think I got dinged on this? So take advantage, like I mentioned. So go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, so one good thing about this chapter that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years is we've really made a big push towards education. I've been in this chapter for 26 years now, and we've never had as big of a push towards education as we have over the last 5 or 6 years. This evaluator process now is a huge step in that education direction. The only thing I'm going to say about this is when you get an evaluation, use it as a training tool, as an education tool. Evaluators aren't going to be there to pick you apart. They're not there to break you down. They're not there to make you feel like you're a bad official. Evaluators are just going to be there to point out the educational opportunities they see in your games. So take those, learn from them, bounce them off of each other as a crew. When you get an evaluation, schedule a call with your crew on a Wednesday or something during the week saying, hey, we got this evaluation. Let's talk about it. Again, David Maxwell said we're going to do a Huddle training. That's going to play into this perfectly, because then as a crew, you can get on a Huddle and say, how are we going to use this evaluation? How are we going to use Huddle to get better? That's the biggest thing. It's just, it's exciting for me, for, somebody who's always been really big and pushing on education, that this chapter is going in this direction. And I think it's going to be a great learning tool for everybody.
You started to see some emails coming out with CFO membership. Take advantage of it. They're the most consistent right now as far as training. UIL, we'll see what they do as far as training and some videos, but for sure CFO is weekly on the test, the quizzes, the video study. We're migrating to what they're doing. So get on the boat, take advantage of the discount that you have as a TASO member, because we're going to be going back and forth throughout these next weeks, months, using their videos, using our videos. If they've got memos that are coming out, then we're going to probably make some changes unless UIL steps up. So go ahead, make that investment in yourself. Learn the language that they're speaking about on these videos. This is only going to help you. You have goals for the season. These are going to help you get to your goals. With COVID, we don't know what we're going to use. We don't know if we're going to have to use a regular whistle. We don't know if we're going to use electronic whistles, bullhorns. We don't know what we're going to use. We don't know if we're going to use masks, face shields. I'd start planning on that. There's a lot of officials in the country, and they're all going to be clamoring, trying to get a hold of alternative sound devices and protective equipment. So start planning and figuring out what that looks like. Order now, so by the time August rolls around, if you're concerned, this is a way to mitigate your concerns. Okay? Lastly, I'm aware of 2 that are leaving the chapter. They're moving back to their respective states. They have TASO shirts. They have other equipment if you feel like you want some of their other equipment. But their shirts are available. If you are interested in obtaining a gently used shirt that's in good condition, I don't necessarily know the placard, but This is a good way to get it, at least for a Thursday. Okay? So I just saw, there's a couple of questions, Robert, that have come up. One just popped up about
Yeah, about uniforms and equipment.
uniform and equipment. I didn't get a chance to see the question.
Yeah, it's just asking about resources for equipment. There's quite a few. There's actually a person here in San Antonio that they have an office over off Calabria and 1604, and they do a lot of stuff for the chapter. It's called Junk. We can get that information to you for Junk, but they're very good about having equipment, and they're very good about ordering stuff for you if you need it pretty quickly. And the good thing is that you can actually go to their office to try stuff on, and we'll get that information to you.
And what's neat too is that there's a tailor 5 doors down that can tailor your pants, can tailor your shirt. Your uniform's going to be important, guys. You know, these off-the-shelf uniforms don't fit necessarily everyone. So the cleaner you look, the better you're going to be. That tailor's awesome. Thanks, Joe. She does a nice job. Okay.
Oh, good. So Hector Torres just said that he's with Junk. So if you needed more assistance, he can get there. And then David Maxwell also said that Tasso.org has a list of approved Tasso vendors, which is pretty important.
Any other questions that popped up, Robert? Anything else?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Well, guys, July 14th, 7 p.m. It's a Tuesday. Look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for attending. And Phil, next little slide there. Fast is okay, but accuracy is all that matters. Think about that. Fam, get to know your fam, get to know your gunslingers, get to know your fellow young guns. We're a community. I want to do the barbecue. Hopefully we're able to do the barbecue. You'll see more details on that as well. Okay?
Under 100.
Sorry?
Under 100 is
Under
the number.
100, but it's a county park, so we'll see. Hopefully we can.
Somebody say food.
What was that?
Somebody say food.
Yes, food and beverages. So we hope to get that to you. Again, July 14th, Maxwell will push it out. We don't have any other questions at this time. Fast is okay, but accuracy is all that matters. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.